Hello everyone, today we are going to learn about strings, and these are the strings that we are going to learn about. So what are we going to learn about? We are going to learn about strings. Now firstly we are going to learn about some of the properties of strings, how it's written, how it goes on and everything. So I have written two strings here. And how do you know if a string is a string? So this is a variable string1 str1, and here I have inserted or written or tagged a value which is a string. Now how do I know it's a string? Because the text is written inside of the double quotes. Now similarly str2 is also written. Now what is it, you say? That is also a string. Because in Python, no matter what you use, be it double quotes or single quotes, it's going to be a string, and it has many uses. Uh, by uses, I would mean like you can use triple quotes to write a double line string if you want. For example, let me uncomment this. Mm, okay, so if you look at it here, you can also write a string in this way as well. Now, what is the use of a string, you say? I mean, string is used for everything, or should I say lots of things, because you have to take input from the user. You're gonna say enter the password, and that's a string. And let's say you want to give some kind of notice. Hello, how are you? Or should I say some kind of student notice, please join this club. Everything, those texts are strings in the programming world. And now I'm gonna show you an example by running this code. So there are two strings, that is variable 1 str1 string, str2 string. Now I have also used slash n, which is basically used to go to the next line. Now if I remove this completely, I'm gonna also have to remove one comma. Then what do you think is gonna happen? This hello will also come back to the front. Now if I run the program again, you can see that they are both on the same line. And that's how slash n works. Okay, now we know that strings are here, and this is the way you write strings, and that in some other programming language you can only use double quotes or single quotes according to the language to define or write a string. Okay, now let's move on to the next part, which is if I have something that uses a quotes in a sentence, then how can I use it is the question. Now in that case, what you can do is firstly create a big string using double quotes and use according to what you want to use. Let's say you want to use single quotes inside of the code, then you can basically use that inside as well. Now this will show that the string is actually there, and this is a text You don't need to read it as a string starting and ending, because using double quotes would be the one that I'm going to use to start and end the string. That's what it means. And similarly here, I am saying here that I'm going to use the double quotes to for my sentence and not as a string ending or starting. And this is a method that you can use if for some reason you don't want to use this method, then you can use this. For example, I'm going to show you what happens when I remove this. Okay, now let's say I have written a sentence in a single quote. Now if I add a single quote inside, what the Python will think that this is the ending line of the string, and it's not going to read all of this, and it's going to cause us an error, which is statements must be separated by new lines or semicolons. Mario is not defined. Function Mario any, and yeah, we're going to get this error. So what we can do is we can inform the Python that I'm going to use a slash, which will give me a pass to use that quote as a normal quote in a sentence, and also avoid that as ending of the string, right? Or we can simply do this, which is, let's say if I have to use a single quote here, I can also do, let's say, a double quote here, and that's gonna avoid me from getting any errors. Okay, so now if I, let's say, run all of this, six, you can see I'm getting hi, how are you there, with the single quotes in the first one, the double quotes in the second one, hi, how are you there, and it's me Mario with the single quotes in the last one. Now if I had actually removed this, I would have gotten an error, it's me Mario with the single quotes as to what's this, and what's the uh, compiler, or should I say the Python, basically gets confused. Okay, now let's move on to the next question, which is I'm sorry, next topic, which is in. So what does the string in do in string? So the in is used to find if some string is present in the variable that we're looking at. For example, we have inserted a tagged hello world value to the str underscore in. Now, if I have to find hello, uh, now I want to find that hello is present inside of this variable. So I'm going to use the in, and then it will go in the str.in variable, and it's going to search for the topic, I'm sorry, for the string that I am searching for. For example, if I run my code, it's going to be uh, shown in true or false. Like for example, let's say run my code. Okay, now you can see that firstly I have searched for hello and it's present in the code, and that's why I have gotten a true result. Uh, Secondly, I have used hi. Now hi is not present in our code, so I have gotten false. H, a small h is not present, so false. And I is also not present, false. A small o is present, so it's true. And this is how you find something in a string. Now let's move on to the next topic, and this is called the in operator, which can be used to find some of a string in a string, some of the string that you want to find in a string. Okay, now let's move on to the next topic, that is length. Now if you want to find the length, the total length of a string, then what we have to do is use the len function. What this will do is give you the total length of the string. Now if I run this code, which is here, I'm sorry, I didn't save. Let's just remove this for now. Okay, so 33. So what it tells me is that if I count everything, let's say 1, 2, 3, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12, 13, 14, 15, 16, 17, 18, 19, 20, 23, 24, 25, 26, 27, 28, 29, 30, 31, 32, 33. So starting from here to here, the length. Now here I have to tell you one thing, that is, when finding the length, it's going to start from 1, like the total amount of letters, spaces present inside of the string, inside of the double quotes. But finding or inquiring about the index is a different matter, because index always starts from 0. So like if length starts from 1, from the t, then index will start from 0, from the t. Now let's run this code. I'm sorry, I've already ran the code, and you can see the total value is also 33. Now let's look at the other code as well, which is this one. I'm going to save this and then I'm going to run it. So now what is, you are going to ask, this is the index. Now what do you mean by indexing? So if I want to show or use any of the values, then what you can do is use the indexing, which is the index value of this, and try to print it using the variable. For example, in this variable where the hello world string exists, I want to find the value 6, which is 0, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, and which is W, as you can see here. Now if I had written 5, save and control, it's a space, because spaces also count inside of the double quotes. Similarly, if I return, let's say 3, you can see 1 can be printed, which is 0, 1, 2, 3. I'm sorry. which is L. Similarly, we can also use from the behind, which is -1, let's say. Now what do you think will print? It is D. So index can be used from either the front, which is 0, 1, 2, or from the backwards counting, which is -1, -2, -3, -4, and so on. So if I do -2, it's going to show me the L as well, which is there. Now let's move on to the next code. Which is a string is immutable. Now what do you mean by immutable? Immutable means that uh, a different variable can be assigned to a string, but you cannot directly change the value of a string. For example, in this case, firstly, a string is attached to immutable. Later, a different string is attached to immutable, meaning that the variable has been changed. Like if I run this, what do you think is gonna print? Obviously, the second line, because the first line has been sent or taken by the garbage collector, and the second line is the one which is basically means that you have changed the variable, right? But not the value. And if I look at the codes on the bottom, here I have tried to change the actual value inside of the string, which is the index 0, which is S, to T. What do you think is gonna happen? I got the error which says str object does not support item assignment, meaning that I'm hoping you are getting this point, that string is a value, right? Now that value can change into other value and attach to a different variable, but the values inside of that string cannot directly be changed. Like it can be assigned to a different variable, but it cannot be changed, like S to T is the example. Uh, I've also shown here the examples. For example, firstly, string was attached to a immutable variable, but here I can't change the values inside of it. So what I did was I created a new value with new address and changed the address of immutable variable. I'm sorry, variable, and tagged it with different string instead of the string that I had created before. Now I have printed immutable, which will basically give me the print value of different string, right? It's also printed here. Now on the other example, immutable 1, I have attached the string to immutable 1. Now if I also, let's say, print immutable 1 and save and run, we can see that string has been printed. So this string's value is immutable 1, right? But then I tried to change the value of immutable 1, string 1, index 0, which is s, to t. Then I got the error. So that's why a string is always immutable. Okay, and that's it for today's strings. Thank you very much.